Houston, the head coach of the Friars, is on the line right now. And Ed, people say you want to be playing your best basketball in March, and it appears that your team is really on that type of a role right now.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us on, and proud of our players being able to persevere through such an early part of our season. And, as we talked before about the different lineups we've had with injuries, I think everybody has to withstand between the injuries and, people getting eligible and putting them back into the mix.
Ed, I remember texting with you in November and December when you guys were losing bodies left and right. There was a situation where you didn't have Vincent Council for an extended period of time. Then Bryce Cotton got hurt. Who's now the leading scorer in the Big East. How long ago do those days in November and December seem when you guys were just scrambling for bodies?
Seems like it was ages ago, when you look at now of how we're playing. We've used walk-ons, we used managers in practice, especially when we were on the road, we used coaches to walk through. So it's really been a learning experience for us. I think our kids have, the injuries in some way have helped where we are right now because other players had to take upon other roles.
Ed, we've gone back and forth about the different roles that guys have on your team, and that's changed throughout the course of the season because of the guys you've had on the floor. But we've talked an awful lot this year about player development, and, your staff has done an absolutely terrific job getting guys better. Kadeem Batts and Bryce Cotton are two players that are vastly different than they were 2 years ago. I'm curious, you're excelling right now in developing players. How much does that go back to the time you spent at Boston College under Al Skinner, who really developed players who were unheralded coming out of high school as well as anybody in college basketball?
Oh, a great question because, our entire offensive philosophy is not so much system-based as, we as a staff want to put our players in positions where they do things well. I want to put them in their comfort zone, so we'll talk. We're talking about, hey, where do you like the ball? Where do you want to get the ball? Where's your favorite side of the floor? What type of shots do you like? So we'll talk to all of our players about that, putting them into their strengths as individuals, not so much as, what our system is. So I think that's a big part of player development is putting players in their comfort zone.
Providence head coach Ed Cooley joining John Rothstein here on the Tim Brando Show, nationally simulcast, CBS Sports Network, College Sports Nation, Sirius XM at Channel 91. The Friars 17-12 right now. They have a winning record in the Big East heading into the finale on Saturday at UConn. Ed, based on what you've seen from your team so far, what's the most surprising thing about the Friars that maybe you didn't expect to happen at the start of the season?
I always thought we were fast. Our defensive intensity has really picked up. Our defensive intensity has really, really picked up. Guys paying attention to detail. And earlier on, in that early January, late December, we just weren't in that mindset to get stops. We were able to score the ball, but we weren't getting multiple stops. And that there has been something that's been, critical for us.
And, getting stops is always critical. Having great guard play is probably even more critical when it comes to winning basketball games in March. I was up at a workout for you guys last summer, and we were both talking about Vincent Council's place among the top guards in the Big East. And Vincent Council missed the start of the season with the injury, and he's always been a player who's had to score to have an impact on the game. But over the last 4 or 5 games, this guy has done a total transformation. He's filling the box score, he's distributing, he's trusting his teammates. He's an absolute technician out there. How much has he evolved into somebody who doesn't need to put the ball in the basket to have an impact on the game?
Yeah, he's really evolved in that way. And, I tell him all the time, be more of a facilitator and you'll score more. And the more he does it, when you look at it right now, I think he may be close to 4 to 1 assist to turnover, if I'm not mistaken, since he's been back. And when he's facilitating that way, we're really good because the ball's moving. We're getting to go side to side, inside out. It's really good basketball to watch. So when he's playing like that, he is one of the better guards in our league, if not the country, when he's playing at that level. So if we can consistently get him to do that, we're going to be a tough out.
And, you always have to worry about the next game on your schedule, but with the situation with the NCAA tournament as it is this year with such a soft bubble, have you and your staff even entertained the idea of winning enough games down the stretch to be in consideration, or are you just taking them the next thing on your schedule, really one thing at a time?
One game at a time, John. It really is. Because that's the only thing we can control. We know we got a really tough game down at Connecticut in Gamble, a place where they play really well. Their guards are as good as any in the country. Daniels has really emerged this year. He's got to be mentioned as one of the most improved players in our league. Obviously, Nate Pierre and Boatwright, that's their strength. But their role players have done a great job. Calhoun basically beat us on the three-point shot late in the game here at the dunk when Last played them. Oleg comes in and gives them a steady presence. I think a kid who's not spoken upon for them is the young man that transferred from Holy Cross.
Yep.
That's a kid who went to Connecticut for the right reasons, knowing he couldn't play in postseason. And for him to be their cheerleader, one of their leaders, clearly can see he gives them a lot of energy. So that's the only game we're talking about.
Ed, energy is something that you've brought to every program that you've been a part of, whether it was BC or Fairfield or Providence. I want to know this year, have you gotten a glimpse with this recent resurgence of what, the dunk and what Providence can be like when you have the program at a high level and really where you want it to go?
Yeah, I really have. I mean, our home court has been, in particular that last month, our home court has been something to play in front of. That stuff you dream about. And our fans have been great. They've been very patient with our progress, and I appreciate them for that. But, when our arena is loud and it's rocking and rolling and everybody's in their white, silver, and their black, I think this is a really, really tough place to play. So as we continue to build our program, we're hoping will become one of the toughest venues in the country to play.
And the dunk's only going to be even tougher next year as you return most of your key players. Now, one of your highly touted recruits this past year, Ricky Lito, did not qualify. He's sitting out this season. What has it been like for you this year, dealing with Ricky in practice and obviously, having a player who's really gotten everything he's wanted out of the game of basketball his entire life, but he can't play day to day like his teammates can, looking forward to game competition? I mean, are you more of a coach, a psychologist, or a teacher?
And more. And more. I mean, psychologists, neurologists, architect with them, archaeologists, go back in the archives. He's been a pleasure coach. He is a talented individual who can bring a lot to the program, not just from a basketball standpoint, but a big time personality. He's fun to be around. He's as energetic as any kid I've ever coached. When he gets on the floor next year, he's going to add so much to our program. We're excited about him. We're excited about his concentration. And I don't think what a lot of people understand, Ricky had the highest GPA on our team last semester. So he cares about his academics, and I'm really proud of his growth. He's someone that people are going to really, really enjoy seeing play at the dunk next year.
And, this team has kind of found an identity with, the perimeter punch that you have. Do you think college basketball is changing in that teams are going to go to three-guard sets more with a small four-man, kind of like how you have with Dante Henton?
Yeah, I think, I look at Missouri's team last year, and I talked to our players about that. You're just really hard to guard, and everybody says, well, how are you going to guard them down the other end? Well, basketball's played on two ends of the floor, and, I think the bigger the heart, the bigger the determination, the more detailed you are, the tougher you are. You can overcome size with, some toughness. You can overcome some size with paying attention to detail. So our guys have done a really good job, and I'm proud of them for that.
Ed, appreciate a couple minutes, especially the day after a big win over Seton Hall. Good luck against Saturday. I hope we can connect next week when you're in New York for the Big East tournament. And I've really enjoyed watching this program grow into your watch this year, man. Best of luck Saturday.
I really appreciate you having us on, and I look forward to seeing you down in, God's greatest arena down there other than Madison Square Garden.
You got it, Ed. Good luck this week, man.
Thank you.
All right, you got it. Providence coach Ed Cooley, a team that is on the rise, on an upward trajectory as we get set for the NCAA tournament. I'm going to give you